Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, because of course, since yesterday we saw some very volatile price action. So let's get into the support and resistance levels in the immediate short term right away. First of all, we have this level of resistance sitting from 68.5K all the way up to 70,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. So in the case that you do see a breakout above that 70K level and retest it right here, well, in that case, this would be flipped into a level of support. And then the next level of resistance is going to be right here at about 70.6K, which is a really important level that you need to consider. Either way, if we do clear through that short-term level of resistance, then very likely we will trade into the next big level of resistance above that, which is sitting from 71K all the way up to 73,000 US dollars. Now taking a look at the short-term levels of support. So what we can see right here is this level at 67.2K. And this is actually a very significant support level because this also aligns with the 0.618 Fibonacci level. And as you can see right here, we already got a wick down to that level and then got a big bounce from there. So that is why it is actually very important to hold this 67.2K level. Either way, we also have this ascending line of support right here. So this could be another level where potentially you could see a bounce from there. Either way, if we do fall through those levels, then the next big level of support below that is going to be from 66,000 all the way down to 65,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. Now moving on to this inverse head and shoulders pattern that I talked about in yesterday's video, because we did see this breakout to the upside, getting a fast move to the upside as well. But then of course we saw this move right here with a fast move to the downside and then invalidating the pattern at 69,000 US dollars. So the point of the breakout. And of course, like I said in yesterday's video as well, when you take this trade at the point of the breakout and you see the price move up, then of course you move your stop loss to the point of the breakout or in profits. So in the worst case scenario, if you do get an invalidation like this, then you either break even or you get a little bit of profits somewhere up here. I did short this move to the downside though, from about 69.6K all the way down to 67.9K or something like that. And you can see that right here on my signals channel as well, where I shorted from 69.6K all the way down to 67.9K with 35x leverage, leading to this nice 85% gain on my trade. So again, this is why it's very important that you actually join my Discord community. It's completely free. And in fact, yes, even my signals are completely free. So if you want to get access to my signals, I highly recommend you join the Discord server with the first link in the description of this video. And once you're in here and verified, you simply go to this Trading Signals Access channel. And from there, you simply follow these 3 steps right here. And then you will have access to my trading signals. And there is one more thing that I want to say regarding the YouTube videos that I post. After I post it, I cannot change it anymore. So the information is out there. And if I am bullish at that time, because we're clearly like turbo breaking out of like an inverse head and shoulders and a symmetrical triangle pattern at the same time, then yes, obviously I'm going to be bullish. But like I said, you have a point of invalidation. So that is something that you need to just keep in mind. And yes, after some time, after it broke out, as you can see literally right here, I took some profits at 70.5K, which was basically the top of that move. And then I shorted a little bit later on. Anyway, that's just something that I wanted to share. Let's move on to the technical analysis once again. So now moving on to the 3-day Bitcoin liquidation heat map. What we can see right here is in this move yesterday, we took out a lot of liquidity to the upside for Bitcoin. However, right after we took out even more liquidity to the downside. And then after consolidating for a little bit, we took out even more liquidity after that. So a lot of leverage has now been flushed out of the market. And now to get a better understanding of what could potentially be happening on the higher timeframes here, well, I just zoomed out to the 1-month Bitcoin liquidation heat map, and it is pretty clear that most of the liquidity is to the downside right here, with in fact most of the liquidity sitting at 60,000 US dollars. And of course, it isn't guaranteed that the price is going to go there, but I do think it is noteworthy that we saw this fake out. So basically a rejection, a move up back to the exact same trend line, and another rejection from there. So in my book, as far as I'm concerned, we are still simply consolidating in this descending channel until this actually invalidates or we break out to the upside. So either we break above 70.6K and we start just pumping up from there, or we trade all the way to the downside below 57.5K. And of course, this does trend down over time, same as this level of resistance. And yes, 60K is, in my opinion, still completely on the table until we actually see some kind of massive breakout, retest, and then a resumption from there. But until that happens, yes, 60K is still completely on the table. But just to be clear, I'm not saying that the chart is going to look like this, where you just see one straight move down to $60,000, or even that it has to go there in general. I'm just saying that, yes, it is still on the table because we are in this consolidation pattern right here. So going to the bottom of the range and to the top of the range are both completely on the table on the higher time frames. Now moving on to Ethereum on the daily time frame, where a couple of weeks ago we got rejected from the 4,000 US dollar level, which also corresponds to the 0.786 Fibonacci level, after which it traded all the way to the downside to the 0.5 Fibonacci level at 2860, where we got some nice support and then a massive bounce to the upside, just smashing through this 0.618 Fibonacci level. And that also corresponded to this breakout from this falling wedge pattern, which I did call all the way down here, and then again at the point of the breakout in my videos. And then after getting that massive move to the upside, it already hit our first profit target right here at about 36.70. And what we can see right now is that we are getting some bearish momentum in the immediate short term before hitting this price target right here, which is the final price target at $4,080. But since you don't know if this is going to retrace all the way back to this point of the breakout right here, I would set my stop loss somewhere in this range above the point of the breakout, and of course have already taken profits right here. So you actually guarantee profits even in the very worst case scenario. Now moving on to the short-term support and resistance levels for Ethereum. What we can see right here is that we broke down below this level right here, sitting at 39.20, and have now flipped it into a level of resistance. And then after that, we have now also broken back below this 38.50 level. So you would really need to see Ethereum close above that level before this 4-hour candle close. Otherwise, we can just simply consider this a level of resistance as well. However, at the same time, we do have this big level of support sitting right here from 3,800 all the way down to 37.50. So potentially we could see a bounce from there. However, in the case that you do see Ethereum trade below that 37.50 level, well then likely we will be heading lower, and the next level of support below that price is actually right here at 36.50 for the price of Ethereum. Now moving on to Solana on the 4-hour time frame, and I'm starting off with these Fibonacci levels once again, because what you can see right here is that Solana is just ranging in between these two Fibonacci levels, being the 0.5 Fib level sitting at 163 for the price of Solana, and then above that we have the 0.618 Fibonacci level sitting at $174. So these are the two key price levels that you need to watch in terms of the momentum on the higher time frames right here, because unless we actually get a breakout to the upside or to the downside from those two Fibonacci levels, we are still simply ranging in between these two levels right here. And lastly, looking at the support and resistance levels for Solana, what we can see right here is a couple of important trend lines that you need to keep an eye on, because recently we of course broke through this descending line of resistance, and after we traded through that trend line, we immediately went up into this big level of resistance, sitting from 166 all the way up to 171 for the price of Solana. But in the case that you do see Solana clear above that 171, 172 dollar level, well, it will likely go up to the next level of resistance above that, sitting from 176 all the way up to 181 for the price of Sol. But in terms of the levels of support for Solana in the immediate short term here on the 1-hour time frame, we do have this descending line of support that you saw a little bit earlier in the video as well. And currently that level of support is sitting at $167. However, if we trade below that relatively soon, then the next short-term level of support is at $164. And yes, in the case that we do fall below that level of support, then the next level of support is at $160. But of course, you must keep in mind this Fibonacci level that I was talking about earlier, because this should act as a big level of support for Solana in the immediate short term. So this has been today's market update video. Thank you very much for watching once again. Don't forget to join the Discord, either to get access to my trading signals or just to join the community. Thank you for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.